Welcome back to the final day of our professional development series. Today, we're going to be learning how to animate, and it's basically simple animation using Google Slides, right? So before I actually get started as it relates to the tutorial, I'm going to be showing you a little preview of how the animation will look once you're using Google Slides. And this is the most basic format. So let me just go ahead and present. Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be learning how to do simple animation. All right, so that is what that animation is looking like. And this tutorial is going to be beginners friendly. So if you're a beginner and you're not versed with the computer, then this tutorial is specifically for you. So I'm going to be walking you through the steps as it relates to how to create an animation like this. And of course, you can use it for your class, use it for your students. It allows you to create slides that are personal. So instead of going to YouTube and getting pre-made videos, you can actually create your own using Google Slides and add your voice to it, add your twist to it, so that your students will enjoy it and you will feel proud of your work. So let's jump right into the tutorial. The first thing you want to do is to create a blank slide or open a blank slide. Once you open your blank slide, tip, once you're doing an animation, you need to know beforehand what exactly it is you want to do. I don't recommend for beginners just winging any animation. So pencil it out. What is it that you want to bring across in your animation? Think about what you want to say as it relates to the audio for your animation. And once you have those locked, or once you have those written, then you can go ahead now and build out your scene and then create the motion and the voiceover for it. All right, so the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be creating a backdrop. So I want something that is three-dimensional. So I'm going to be searching for a background that has floor and wall. Now, this is what it looks like. So it gives your background that 3D effect. I don't want any of these. So what I'm going to do, I can widen my search using the Google browser. So I'm going to just open a new browser and type it there. And now I have different backgrounds that I can play around with. So I'm just going to go ahead and select image. So if I want something with a dark background, I can select here. If I want something with a background that has a lot of greenery, I can select that. So you have a lot of different types of background that you can play around with. So of course, I'm not going to be doing the exact thing that you're seeing in the introductory video. I might switch it up a bit here, but the animation, etc., will be the same. Maybe the backdrop, not so much. So like I said, you'd have to kind of plan out how you want your scene to look before you even attempt to do any animation whatsoever. All right, let me just go back a bit. All right, so once you're satisfied with the background here, you can just go ahead and select. All right, so if I'm going to use this particular background, all I have to do is just copy and paste it. So right click, copy, right click, paste, and then you would have to just resize the image to fit your screen. There are several ways that you can actually do this, but I'm just focusing on the simplest way right now. All right, so I'm going to, all right. Still searching for a background. Still searching for a background. All right, let me use this one. Oops, no, I'm not going to use this because it's trademarked. So I'm going to choose something else. And so selecting the right kind of background for your animation, it might take you some time, but that is how it is. All right, yeah, I think I'm going to be working with this one. All right, fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and resize. So now that I have the backdrop for my animation, I'm going to now fill it in. The first thing I want to have on the screen is the word let's learn about, or the words let's learn about animation, and then animate that. So I'm going to click on the T here for text box, and then I'm going to draw. So that's, you're going to left click and then use your next finger to put it on the mouse pad to basically navigate where you want or how long you want the text box to be, or the dimensions. You really want to work out the dimensions of your text box. I'm going to write this in all caps. Once I'm finished, I'm going to highlight all the words, click on the B here for bold, and then probably just increase the font size of it a bit so that it pops out and it's not hidden. All right, so seeing that it's still highlighted, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to animate it. So there are several ways that you can bring up your animation panel. You can go here to insert and then scroll down to animation, and it will allow you to use or select the different settings or the different types of animations. So for this one, I want it to come from the bottom of my screen and go up. So I'm going to select fly in from bottom, and I don't want it on click, which means once you open the slide, you have to click on the screen for the animation to play. Because I want to convert this into an MP4, which is a video format, I want everything to just automatically play once I hit presentation mode. So I'm going to select after previous, and then I'm going to click play to see how it looks. Good, so that's exactly what I want. if I want to go ahead and add another animation to this word or to these set of words, I can go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do, I think I want the words to spin. So I'm going to go to add animation again, and it will automatically populate fading once you select animation from the animation panel. So you have to go in and change it. So I'm going to change this to spin. And of course, I'm choosing after previous. You can determine the speed at which your animation flows at by using this panel here. So you can, or this bar, to adjust the speed. So let's just look at how it looks now. Good. So anytime you're animating at all, always for every single step, check. Play it to ensure that everything flows, because once you pass a particular step and you're adding more animation and overlaying different animations, it will be problematic to just go back and fix, especially if you're a beginner. If you're not a beginner, it's easier to go back in and fix, but if it's the first time you're doing it, you want to ensure that you're checking each step to ensure everything is flowing how you want it to. So now that we animated the word, I'm going to go ahead now and add the teacher or the female here. So I'm just going to go back and search. I want a transparent image without any background. So I'm going to add the word transparent to my search. And I'm going to also add PNG so it looks more animated or more clip art. And then I'm going to go ahead and select this one. I'm going to copy and paste the image to the slide. All right, so this one doesn't have a background. Well, this one has a background, so I can't use that one. All right, so I think I'm going to use this image here. So I'm going to click on it and then just repeat the process, right click, copy image, go to the slide, paste the image. And the character should appear here. Of course, once you would have written your script, you would know exactly which characters you need to find and all of that. So I want my character to be more at the back of my background or in my background. So you can just move around to navigate it based on what you want. Right there, right? So the hand is pointing to let's learn about animation. So that's a position that I want. So once you're choosing the different animation from the animation panel, you have to bear in mind the placement of the characters. That's very important so that your animation is more believable. Next step, same process. I'm going to click on the animation. I'm going to add animation. So this is another way now. Once you click on the image, go to the right, look to your right at the bottom, you're going to see add animation. Click on it, then select the animation that you want. I want her to fly in from bottom, which means she's going to come from the bottom of the screen and basically sit in this position. So I'm going to go ahead and select after previous. And now I'm going to play it to ensure that it's exactly how I want it to look. Right, good. I'm comfortable with that. The next step now is to add the other characters. So I had a puppy here. So I'm going to go ahead and insert image from web. I'm searching from the web. Of course, if you have the image on your laptop, then you can go ahead and select that. So same process, transparent. Transparent puppy, PNG. All right, so once you type that in, just click enter and you should see different options. I'm going to select this puppy here. And then once I select it, it's going to be ticked. And then I'm going to click insert at the bottom. The puppy will appear on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and resize. I'm going to move the puppy a little bit closer. Maybe put it to the back. All right, so yeah, right there. That's fine. All right, so next step now is to just click on the image. You can also right click on your mouse pad and access the animation toolbar from there or panel from there. I want this puppy to fly in from bottom as well. So I'm going to select that and then I'm going to click after previous. I think I might want this puppy to enter at a slower pace. So I'm going to move it down a few seconds and then I'm going to click play. Good. So now that I have those elements or those pieces, I want the puppy to basically speak. So I'm going to add a chat box and words to have some sort of dialogue going on in the animation. So in order to do that, I'm going to search for the chat box as an image. So I'm going to go to insert again, go to image, go to search web, clear out the puppy from the field, add chat box, and then I'm going to select one of these. Ensure that the direction of the chat box matches with your puppy. I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to resize it. All right, so once I've successfully added my chat box, the next step now is to animate this chat box. So I'd like the chat box to appear. So it seems, it would seem like the puppy just like open its mouth and then the chat box appears. That's it, the kind of feeling I'm going for. That's how I want it to seem. Of course, when you're doing it like this, there are ways to actually get the puppy's mouth to open, but that is not for beginners. So I'm focusing on beginners. Once I'm doing intermediate or advanced, then I'll show you those tips and tricks. So I'm going to go ahead and change it from fading to appear. And then after previous, then I'm going to go ahead and click play. Good. Next step now is to add some wording. So I'm going to go to text box. And then I'm going to add the text box inside of the chat box. Ensure that the text box is not bigger than the chat box. Then I'm going to add roof in all caps. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it, apply bold, maybe increase the size a little bit, and then reposition where I want the words to fall. Good. So now that I've done that, I'm going to highlight the word and then add animation. I would like the word to appear after previous. Or I can select fading. I think I'm gonna just allow the words to fade in after previous, and let's see what that looks like. Good. So the next step now that I have the dog speaking, I'd like to know, remove the chat box, remove the dialogue, and then allow the dog to disappear, to bring on or to make room for the next series of animation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the wording first. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to click on Animate, Add Animation. Scroll down with the bar. I'm going to select Disappear and then select After Previous and then click Play. Beginners always ensure that you're clicking the play button to see how everything looks. Now that I did that successfully, I'm going to click stop so that I can go back in and animate. So the next thing I want to remove is the chat box. So I'm going to click on the chat box and the square should appear over around the chat box rather. And then I'm going to add animation. I'm going to select disappear again. But this time I want the chat and the box to move at the same time. So disappear, but this time not on click or after previous, but with previous. So let's see how that looks. Good. All right. So, all right, it's fine. Say I want to go back in and change something. Say I want to change the animation for the chat box. I can just go ahead and click on that particular animation. I think I'm going to select fly out to right. So it will move to the right of the screen instead of just disappearing. And I'm going to play that so you can see the difference between the different types of animation. All right, so you always have the option of playing around with your animation, selecting it, changing it out, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to adjust this again. I don't want the roof to fly out. I want the roof to disappear. And I want the chat box to fly out to right. So I'm just showing you that you can always go back in. After you play it, if you're not comfortable with something, you can just go back in, select that particular animation and play around with it. All right, so let me just put it back to disappear. That's fine. All right, so now that we mastered those steps, the next thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing the dog from the scene. So I'm going to click on the dog. So yes, click on the puppy and then add animation as per usual. I'm going to select move along. Let me just go down. I'm going to select fly out to bottom. So now the puppy will exit the scene the opposite way that it came in. So it flew in, now it's going to be moving out. And of course, this is going to be after previous. So now that I've done that, I want to add a television to this scene with a play button. And so what you can do, you can add like little video clippings in there, but I'm not necessarily going to be teaching you how to do that right now. I'm just showing you how to add different components or elements to a scene. So I'm keeping it pretty basic. So I'm going to go ahead and select insert from web. I'm looking for a TV. And then I'm just going to go ahead and select one that I like. I'm going to click insert, and then I'm going to resize it. You can put this anywhere you feel comfortable. It doesn't matter if you're putting it in front of the dog or anything, it won't affect your animation. Why? Because you already have a panel here that controls the motion or it shows the sequencing. So because it's animated, everything will follow a particular order. So you don't have to worry about that. So the next thing I'm going to do is animate the television. I think I would want this to just appear. So I'm going to allow that to appear, and I'm going to click after previous. And I'm going to add a play button to the animation, to the screen of the television. Right, so the television appeared. So I'm going to add a play button to this. So I'm going to go to insert text image, search web. I'm going to remove TV and put play button, play icon. I'm going to select this one. I'm going to click insert, and then I'm going to resize it to fit the screen of the television. All right, so now that that is in place, I'm also going to be animating the play button so that it appears on screen the same time as the television and not separately. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click add animation, and I'm going to click the same animation that I chose for the television. And this time I'm going to put with previous. So it means that both of them will be coming into the scene at the same time. So this is how it would look. All right, so now that I've done that, hold on, I don't see my play button. What's happening? Let me check that again. And this is why it's important to always check what you're doing at each step. So if there's any error, you can always fix it. Okay, I think what happened is it should be there, appear with previous. Right, let me choose fade in and see if that changes. Oh, all right, so this is a problem. There's an extra one there that says unclick. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete that one. And then I'm going to change this back to fade in to appear instead, and then play. It should be okay now. Good. So now that I have all my pieces together for this particular scene, the next step now is to actually record the audio for this. And like I did for day one, it's pretty simple. You're going to go to this app here, this website, 123 app. It's already bookmarked on my computer, so I don't have to type it in. And then I can record my audio file here. So let me just do a demo so that, you know, I can refresh those of you who came to the workshop but you don't remember, right? Hello, everyone. Today we're going to learn how to animate. See you there. So I'm just doing a random sample, random demo, but for you, you want to ensure that whatever you're seeing, it's in sync with the animation that you're making. So ensure that you know your script, you know the pace that your animation is flowing. So you might need to watch the animation several times and then practice it so that you get the timing correctly. So I'm going to hit save, and this will automatically be downloaded to my laptop. Then I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to upload this to my drive so that I can have access to it on slide. I'm going to add it to audio file section here. I'm going to select new, upload file. So this will be in the download section. I'm going to hit download. This is the recording. And then I'm going to click open. And if you should look here, it shows that it has been recorded. So once I've successfully done that, I can just close out of the recording app. Well, the recording website, not app. And then I'm going to go to insert, then go to audio. Then I'm going to select that particular audio, or any one of these for that matter. I'm going to click select, and then I'm going to adjust the audio icon where I want it. I'm going to select automatically. So check on the right of your screen, the audio panel will come up. And so you can select unclick, which means that you have to click it in order for it to play or automatically. Because you're doing an MP4 or you want to put this in a video format, click automatically. So you don't have to click the screen. Then you're going to select play to hear what your audio sounds like. Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be learning how to do simple animation. All right, so that's my audio that I used for the first video, for the recording that you saw at the beginning. So now that I have all my pieces together, the next step now is to basically use a screen recorder and capture what's on my screen to get it in an MP4 format, right? So that is what I'm going to be doing next. So what I use is Screencastify. You can type in Screencastify in your browser and it should come up. You can just go ahead and select it. And then you're going to, it will give you the option. I have already installed it, but for persons who don't have it installed, you can go ahead and add install, and then it will install it, and then you go ahead and just select the permission, give it permission to gain access to whatever it's asking. You can go ahead and adjust the webcam, etc., all of those features. Once you have successfully installed it, now you can go to your extension tab here and it should pop up. So here it is. And once you're ready to record, you ensure that you select desktop, ensure your microphone is on. You don't want the webcam on at this point because a little display window of yourself will pop up there unless you're doing it for something else other than animation, then you would want it to do the animation video. You're going to hit record. It's going to ask you which screen you want it to record. I'm going to put it on application window and then select this one and then select share. So it's counting down. So once it hits around 2, I'm gonna just hit present so that it flows. Good morning, guys. Today we're going to be learning how to do simple animation. All right, so once you finish, click stop sharing, and then it will redirect you to Screencastify, and your video will be recorded here. So you need to come up here and click to unmute. Click to unmute to hear it. Of course, mine had an issue coming up. Let me just pause this. But what you can do, Screencastify has a trim feature where you can just remove the extra parts that you don't want. Like before, if you didn't get it, the counting down perfectly, you can always remove that part so that you start at the beginning of it. So let me just play the rest of it so you can see it. Guys, today we're going to be learning how to do simple animation. And of course, the tab that you're seeing here, you can always remove that. I didn't bother to hide it because this is just for demonstration purposes. Good morning, guys. Today, but when you're finished, you can go ahead and share it, send it to your email, send it to YouTube if you want. If you have a YouTube channel and you want this to be on it, you can send it and save it to your students and send it to your students. You can download it on your laptop because the download option is here as an MP4 so that you can always have it to use. So this is how, in essence, you create an animation using Google Slides. It's very simple, very straightforward, beginners friendly, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and I hope you enjoyed the workshop. Thank you for watching.